Katrina Micaiah had hoped to be here to share some words and memories, but she's unwell, so I'd like to invite Elizabeth Graff forward.
Hello.
It's a real honor to be able to be here and speak. Thank you so much for the invitation. I became friends with Pam on July 29th, 2009, and I know this thanks to Facebook. And to Pam, who befriended me after meeting my former partner and my daughter and making the decision that she wanted to get to know the woman behind this duo. And so it was. She brought her attention my way, and my life was better for it. I'm so grateful. She really knew how to use Facebook too. But I would like to speak to that quality Pam brought to her life and those in it. Presence. Pam introduced me to Michael Brown, who wrote, "Present moment awareness is to be fully aware of the moment we are in, or to be present in the moment." The emphasis isn't on the moment, but on the beingness we bring to bear on our life experience when we pay full attention to the moment. A reliable indicator we have entered present moment awareness is if our experience, no matter how comfortable or uncomfortable it may feel at any given moment, is infused with gratefulness. Pam took this on, not just as a philosophical concept to aspire to, she brought it on to every thought, decision, interaction with everyone and everything. She practiced, she studied, she journaled, she sought, she risked, she beamed, she chose. She chose love, time and time again, even when, or especially when, life was confusing, overwhelming, uncertain, and downright scary. She had her pulse on what eludes so many. She wasn't afraid to say no. She wasn't afraid of being a pioneer in being, in doing things differently, questioning why, seeking deeper meaning and purpose. She lived from her heart unapologetically. Each choice to be present and grateful, buoying her up and extending that to those around her. All the while, exploring her findings and sharing her wisdom, delighted as life unfolded and displayed its interconnectedness. So passionate about sharing what she was learning and experiencing about the oneness of life, as many of you know. She called me a couple months ago about her inner knowing of this significance and to check in about it one last time. Seemingly uncharacteristic, though it wasn't, because it was Pam, she expressed a sense of time on this earth for her coming to a close. And that is why I'm about to share this with you now. It not only reflects her humanness, but how truly big her heart was. And according to Oneness, thank you, Pam, it still is. She personally experienced countless interactions with people, particularly her father, that could only be explained by a shared consciousness. So profound was this in her life that all she wanted to do was share it. She put a lot of pressure on herself to do this through her writing. It troubled her deeply that her manuscript went unfinished. However, as our friend Katrina so poignantly observed, and I'm paraphrasing here, she said, "I bet as Pam ascended, she felt a huge sense of relief as she fully realized, oh yeah, I did share that. All the time, with everyone she met, by making time with people, for family, for friends, for everyone who came through her line at the co-op, for teaching us all how to be present, teaching us all how to love. There's no greater accomplishment in life." I'd just like to hold that for a moment and think of Pam. I was going to end there, but a little bit Pam style, I've been getting a tap on my shoulder for the last few days to mention one more thing. It's on a different note, more of an activist note. And I feel compelled to additionally share some personal insight with you. In November, Nancy Hample and I made a trip to Reno to see Pam, and it was very significant in many ways. However, I learned some things about colon health as a result of that trip that has profoundly changed my life. And I know the activist in Pam supports me speaking this truth with you. And if anyone would like to chat more about that with me, then you can message me on Facebook. And thank you, Pam. We love you so much.
Another dear friend, Donal Wilkinson, was also unable to be here but asked me to share these words. I was at the co-op for my Friday night pizza ritual when Pam Palmer walked up to me, took my hand, looked me in the eye, and said, "I want you to be the lead actor in my new play." That was my experience of Pam, direct, honest, and just asking for what she wanted. She didn't rush me or respond to me backing away a little and saying, "But I don't know how to act." Pam didn't see obstacles, she saw challenges. Every reason that I raised explaining why I couldn't do this play, she countered. At some point, she took my hand again and said, "I will help you through this. We'll do it together." As time has passed since that moment, I've heard stories from many people about Pam helping them through something: city government, building projects, and childbirth. In all those cases, it wasn't about her doing something for someone. It was about her helping the person help themselves. She inspired you to develop the confidence you needed to take on whatever challenge you faced. I found out Pam had cancer early in 2014. It's so easy to feel helpless in the face of this debilitating disease. That feeling is made even worse when the afflicted person falls apart emotionally. Pam didn't do that, though. She went at it with the same determination and drive that she had with everything else in her life. The same drive she exhibited and fostered in me when she worked with me every day on that play. She helped me with lines, gave me suggestions on how to gain a better understanding of my character. She even taught me how to walk into a room with confidence. She was sure I could do this, and that made me sure. She went after her cancer with the same confidence, certain that she could beat it. I wrote letters to her nearly every month for the past couple of years. In her letters back, she talked about how I was going to take her backpacking in the Grand Canyon as soon as she beat this. She wanted to reconnect and strengthen her relationship with the natural world. My letters were supposed to be motivating her, and as it turned out, it was her letters, full of hope and plans for radical remission, that motivated and inspired me. Even through sickness and being 1,000 miles away, she was still mentoring me, something that just came naturally for her. We talked about her connection to Moscow. Like it is for most of us, it was much more than a geographical location to Pam. She told me once that to her, the Moscow community was comprised of, and I quote, the land, people, native habitats, bountiful gardens, animal companions and their native cousins in the wild, the music, the art and creativity that abounds, and the sense of belonging that one feels by the interconnectedness of all that is Moscow. Pam embodied all of this. She knew the geology, hiked the natural world, created beautiful gardens, made art happen with serious Idaho theater, and she was responsible for connecting people in Moscow for 30 plus years. Last Saturday, I attended a yoga class in the Cedars of Ida's Rest in the morning. As I rode my bike up there, I took note of how calm and quiet it was. I had Pam on my mind earlier in the morning when I did my morning prayers. I throw out positive energy to all of my friends trying to navigate their way through cancer treatment. By the time I left the tranquil forest, a big wind had started, coming from the west. It wasn't until a few hours later, when I found out about Pam's death, that I understood where that wind came from. Pam was that wind. The wind that helps us stay on our course, the wind that cleans and clears the way for whatever life has to offer us next. Pam's way of saying, may the four winds blow you safely home. So that was Donal Wilkinson. And now I'd invite Isabella Stolov on up.
Hey everyone. The girls asked me to write a little something. It's been a long time since I've been here. And happy to be back. I'm happy that Pam's finally at peace. A tribute to my friend. Pam was pure magic. If she wanted something done, it got done. Period. My first glimpse of her was at the Moscow Ren Fair when she and Tom won King and Queen. I watched them walk around looking oh so regal and wished I had a costume just like that. I can't remember how we met or who introduced us. What I do know is once the connection had been made, we felt as if we had known each other for lifetimes. Pam was an extremely spiritual person. She and Tom and the girls lived around the corner from me. So there were many dinners and afternoon talks and saunas. We played creatively as well. I was her actor and she was my director. We'd spend hours talking about serious Idaho theater and did a ton of plays together. We were each other's confidants. We had good times and we had bad times, but our friendship was unstoppable. Those of you who knew Pam well knew of her tireless energy and her commitment to love. You can now see that love in the eyes and smiles of her beloved children, Aaron, Tava, and Bria. She welcomed me into her home and loved me unconditionally. When my mother came to see me in the play Proof that Pam directed, She happened to snap a photo of my mom after the show, sitting with her hands clasped. She then interviewed my then 85-year-old mother and got a story of her modeling during the war for an issue of Mary Jane Farms magazine. Pam was thrilled. She loved photography and writing. My mother loved Pam's energy, even though she only knew her a short time. Pam had that effect on people. Her caring nature, wise eyes, and warm heart will live with us forever. Thank you, Pam. Thank you, Pam, for one of the best times in my life. We will all miss you.
Thank you. The girls asked me to gather up just a few of the comments from the Facebook pages to share from people who couldn't be here. So here they are. The light in Pam's eyes will be missed. So sorry for the loss of this fabulous woman, a force and a caring soul. Pam once told me that she didn't really believe in the idea of one soulmate because anyone could be your soulmate. She said, I could become soulmates with the person sitting next to me on a plane. Pam could do that. She could bond that deeply with many people. Pam was such a nice person, warm and oh so very real. I have great admiration for Pam's willingness to try new things, diving headfirst into them. What courage. Pam was a blessing to so many. Pam raised the bar for the status quo and added so much love and light to the world. Always giving, always in grace. You've made the world much, much better by being. You have our love, now and forever. Last but not least, you see the beautiful word cloud created. Everybody was asked to share just 3 words. Let me read them to you. Compassionate, inspirational, patient, kind, beautiful, mindful, creative, ambitious, strong, adventurous, fiercely loyal, understanding, luminous, peaceful, free, wise, one of a kind, generous, passionate, gentle, tender, earthy, bohemian, artistic, poetic, nurturing, radiant, transcendent, gracious, graceful, intelligent, transparent, visionary, real, true to herself, tough, determined, spontaneous, tenacious, open, grounded, empowering, positive, driven, giving, smiling, bright, brave, brilliant, fully present, bright-eyed, inclusive, fabulous, friend, daughter, best mom ever, grandmother, and loving, and loving, and loving, and loving. At the end of Pam's life, she was surrounded by love. Those present in person included Tava and Joe Hopper, Erin Esteban and her family, Bria Palmer, Nancy Hampel and Elizabeth Graff, Susan Palmer and Kirk Othberg, Courtney Soderquist, Teresa Escobar, Susie Casillas, Katrina Makaya, Rick Myers, Kenton Bird and Jerry Saylor, and the good people of Walla Walla Community Hospice. Through the wonders of Facebooks and texts and letters, though, Pam stayed connected to a circle of friends so broad as to be almost overwhelming. At the center of that circle, at the center of Pam's life, Pam's heart, are her family. I'd invite Erin and Pam's grandchildren forward now to offer us just a few words.